Hi guys, it's your girl Me-Anie again. Sit down. Oh. Okay, so the title of this video, the lighting is kind of weird in here. Hey. I like that. Better. Okay, so as you can tell, from the title of this video, I wrote it down, I made it happen. I'm doing this video for one of my viewers from my I Passed video. Basically discussing how Write It Down, Make It Happen works. So there's a book and it's called Write It Down, Make It Happen. And the premise of this book is basically you are able to write things down and put it out there in the universe and basically attract that back to you. And I've been using this method now for, I think I first heard about it back in 2009, 2010. And I shared a video back then with how I was moving into my first apartment, everything that I wanted to find in this apartment, and I kind of tucked it away. And I didn't pay any attention to it until like maybe a month or so after I was in the apartment, and I found the list of everything that I wanted. And I basically got everything on that list except for two things. So it's still, it's still good that I got pretty much almost everything I asked for. The fact that I got two things not come true, that doesn't mean that it didn't work for me. Anyhow, so when I recently took my test, some of the things that I did, I had it in my mind that I was going to pass no matter what. And what you have to do is visualize. That's half the battle. You have to be able to visualize what it is that you are trying to bring into your life. So for some people, they can, put pictures up. That's where your visionary board would come in. Some people are able to write things down and that'll help them to visualize it. Some people can just think about it in their mind and that'll bring it through, bring it to life for them. Me, I'm more so of, I'm a visualist. I have to write things down and being able to actually see it. So for me, I pretty much do all of them depending on the situation that I'm in, and it really has to do with your faith as well. So when I was going to take that test, the very first thing that I did, and I did this probably like a day or maybe 2 days prior to taking that test. This is the little note that I wrote myself. I don't know if it's going to show it backwards for you guys, but it says here, December 14th, I took my VTNEs and I passed. And on the bottom, I put yes. So you have to basically allow yourself to feel what you're going to feel if you had what you were trying to achieve. So this was a date that I was going to take the test, the 14th. That's the date that I took the test. And I wanted to pass, so I put it as, okay, I passed this test, and of course I'm going to be relieved, so I put yes on there. I had like 2 of these on my computer sitting back there. The other one was basically saying, as of December 14th, I'm a certified vet tech. It feels good, something like that. So for me, putting those 2 little stickers up on my computer and being able to pass by it every day, that put me in the mindset saying, okay, I'm a certified vet tech. This is what I want. This is the feeling that I'm going to have when I achieve it on the 14th. Another thing that I did, this is a book that I have. I bought this from Ross. I have tons of these books. These, if you go to Ross, I don't know if they're going to have them now because it's the holidays and things are going to be sold out. But I am addicted to buying books. I found this book at Ross. It says, Love Freely, Live Simply, and Pray Daily. And it was only $4.99. Still got this stupid tag on there. I actually bought a crap load. And I remember when I was in this store, I took a picture and I sent it to Britannia on here. So this one says blessed. This one says I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, and it's Philippians 4:13. This was $3.99 as well. I think this one was either $3.99 or $4.99. And then I have another one here. So I'm addicted to books, and I have these because I write, I have them around the house, and whenever I get an idea or whatever, I write it down. So for me, this one is the one that I go to when I want to write something down that I want to happen. And what I wrote in here the night before I took the test, I can show it to you here. You can kind of see the date, December 14th. I wrote it as if I had just taken the test. This is what I felt after I took the test. But remember, this was the night before. So I wrote, this was December 14th. Today I became a certified vet tech. The feeling is amazing. I'm another step closer to be, I'm another step closer to my goal. The Lord is with me. It's like, it just goes on and on saying how I feel. And then on the bottom of it, I wrote, to wrap it all up, I should really grab my glasses. I'm so happy I passed my Me-Anies on my first try. What a blessing. The Lord was with me the entire way. Where are my glasses? But that pretty much sums up everything that I wrote. And then I wrote the amount of money that I want to make now that I'm a certified vet tech. And then the position that I'm trying to get into. Basically saying I'm one step closer to becoming a physical therapist for animals. So I wrote that down the night. I slept with that book in my bed. And you can do whatever you need to do to make it feel real to you. Not saying that exactly what I'm going to do is going to work for you, but I'm just giving you some guidelines and some foundations so you can kind of come up with your own plan. So whatever you have to do to make this feel real, that's what you need to do. So let's say you're trying to buy a house. You're preparing yourself to buy this house. Some things that you can, and I did this too, some things that you can do to kind of put you in that mind frame. You can, when I was packing my boxes to move, I wrote the address, and I didn't have the place that I wanted at that time. I had applied for it. I wrote the address on the boxes that I was packing up so that when I was ready to move, they were all there. I wrote the address of the house that I wanted to move into. And for me, that was putting it out there in the universe. This is going to be my new house. This is going to be my new address. That's where I'm moving to. Everything is going to work out. I'm going to get accepted. Blah, blah, blah. So that was one thing that I did. Another thing that I did, I got my ID, and on the back of my ID, I wrote, I got a little sticky paper, and I wrote my address, the new place that I wanted to move into. I wrote that on the back of the ID, and I stuck it to that paper. So for me, again, that's just putting it out there in the universe. So little things that you can do, act as if whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, you actually have it in that moment. And just zone out for a minute. Allow yourself to feel exactly what you're going to feel and express that. Either you write it down, just try to visualize it and put yourself in that phase, in that freaking moment. So a lot of things that you do, think about it. Think about exactly what you want. You can only get what you want if you know exactly what it is. How you're going to get it is that's not your job. You don't have to figure out, okay, how am I going to get this house? I really want this house. How am I going to get it? That's not your job. Knowing what you want, that's where you want to start. Everything else kind of starts to fall into place. Now, for me, I see your thumbs up. I appreciate you guys watching this live with me. For me, now that I'm looking back, I remember, let me see if I can dig under my bed and get this thing out. I remember when I had my job changed. I'm sorry, guys. When I changed my job, is it still under here? Oh. Is it here? Okay. Wow. So this is something that I did when Siler was, wow. That's so, when I tell you, like, things start falling into place, and this is something that I'm noticing now. So I made this, when I was searching for a job. I knew what I wanted, some things that I wanted for my job. One big thing that I wanted was to have a job that offered tuition reimbursement. So I think around this time I kind of knew what it was that I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted to go back to school. I knew that I wanted to go to school to be a vet tech. At that point, I figured that out. But, Siler, get from under here before you knock my situation down. Go to bed. Go to bed. Thank you. So, the fault that I made in this whole situation, I was trying to figure out how I was going to get it done. Good job, Darian. You just broke the shit. I was trying to figure out how I was going to achieve it, as opposed to just saying, this is what I want. This is what I need in order to get where I need to be. I was trying to figure it out. So I was going down paths that I did not need to go down, because it was going to take me off of the route that I needed to take to get to my destination. So on this, and the reason why I laughed just now is because that very quote that's on that book, that Bible scripture, is actually, I haven't looked at this since I moved into this house, and I've been here now for a year. And I made this 2 years ago. So I haven't looked at this in a while. So remember that scripture that I just read to you guys off that book? I can do all things through Christ. And it's actually, I just bought this like a few months ago. So I thought that was absolutely funny that I found that. But if you take a look at this, at that time, I was trying to find any type of job just so I can start working and then have things come together. So I had applied for a job at International Plaza, Apple inventory specialist. And that's the job that I wanted at that time. And I even gave myself expiration dates as to when I was going to have a callback, interviews, when I was going to be hired, and when the start date would be. So I don't know if you guys can see that. So I had that there. I also had on here how many hours I wanted to work, how much money I wanted to get paid. And on the very bottom, I put down the tuition reimbursement, and I wanted a full Pell Grant. Wow, and wow, that did happen. I know, Siler, come on, man. Go. Oh, he's gonna fuck up my situation. Go to bed. Don't get out. I'm just realizing that I actually did get my full Pell Grant. I didn't even realize that. You see how stuff happened? But down here, right here, it says tuition reimbursement. And then it also said that I wanted a full Pell Grant. And I just remembered that the second year that I was finishing up school, I did get a Pell Grant. So the only thing that's on here that was relevant to what I was trying to achieve was this down here. All the other things, this was me trying to figure out how I was going to achieve it. This was the only one that pertained to what I actually wanted and what I needed in order to get me to where I am now. So I wrote that stuff down, and you'll come across like some things you may not achieve because either it's not for you or you're trying to figure things out on your own, as opposed to knowing exactly what you want and having it come to you. If you guys are in here, you have questions, I believe you can write them and I'll be able to see them, because I have a little pop-up down here. So if somebody types something, I can probably see it as a test. But definitely, if you have questions as I'm talking to you, feel free to ask them and I can respond to you on the spot. So that's the good thing about being live. So it's just really weird that I just noticed that thing about the Pell Grant. Now, another thing that I will say, you be clear, be very, 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 very clear about what you want. Know what it is from beginning to end. And if you have to go into it and be as descriptive as possible, like what was I saying about trying to get a house? Oh yeah. So if you're trying to get a house, remember, like, how are you going to feel when you're in this house? Like, what kind of house are you going to have? Is it on a lake? Is it like a condo, apartments? Is it in the city? Is it in the country? How do you feel when you walk into this house? Is it double doors? Is it a loft type situation? Upstairs, downstairs? Things like that you have to visualize, because when things start to unfold and you look back, kind of like how I just looked back and noticed, like, damn, I wrote this down and it actually did happen. You're going to be surprised. It's going to be like a wow factor. So be very descriptive. Take the time out to just sit down and think about what it is that you want. Don't worry about how I'm going to get it. You just want to know what I want. What do I want? So the book that I'm reading now is called The Aladdin Factor. Now, I am listening to it on audiobooks, but you can also find it on YouTube. And this is a book that's teaching you how to ask for things. And I swear, I want to be like the master asker, because so much is out there that I know I don't ask for, and I can get it easily if I do. So I've been listening to this book, and one part of the book tells you to write down 101 wishes, and that's what I'm doing in this book as well. It tells you to write down 101 wishes or goals. They said wishes because people don't like the word goals, but it's all the same thing. So sit down, take about 20 minutes to yourself, and really figure out 101 things that you want to accomplish. 101 things that you want to happen in your life. So I started writing my little list. And the thing is with this, the guy said the very first, once you write this down, about 10 things are going to happen in 2 weeks. And I started writing this the night before I took my VTNEs, and the very first thing I put on there, of course, because I wanted this to happen, I wanted to pass my VTNEs on the first try. And that's exactly what I wrote, and it happened like the very next day. Passed my VTNEs on the very first try. Some other things that I have on here is get my CCRA accreditation in 6 months. So that's my certificate for being a certified canine rehab assistant. Want to get that within 6 months. I want to take 2 cruises this year. Haven't been on one since I moved here, and that was the whole reason that I moved to Florida. I want to go zip lining, skydiving. I want to go to New Orleans. New Orleans. I want to go to Dubai. Pay off my freaking new car that I just got. Just things like that. Little things, little or big things that you want to achieve. Practice yoga daily. I only do it like once or twice a week. I want to go spearfishing. I want to learn how to spearfish. So things like that. I haven't finished my lists yet. I think I'm stuck at like 35 or 38 things. So I still need to sit down and kind of come up with the other 70 whatever to finish this. I think it's like close to 30 or under 30, around there, that I have. So I still need like 70 more to put the whole 71 more. But I just really want to write all this stuff down and see what happens this year. And that's my biggest thing, because I'm not challenging it. And that's the thing. You can't go into this with a mindset like, okay, I'm going to write this big thing down and see if it happens. You can't do it as a challenge to yourself, like kind of doubting it. Not that kind of challenge, but as more as a step of faith. So you write this stuff down. You have faith that it's going to happen. You believe that it's going to happen. You act as if it already happened. And in most cases, if you're able to kind of generate that feeling and act as if it happened already, then this stuff will come to you. So that's the most important thing. Know what it is you want, know how you're going to feel when you achieve it, so that you can kind of live in that moment and exude those feelings now. And then from there, just allow things to happen. People are going to come into your life. People are going to go. But every person that come into your life, they're going to offer you something. And it's up to you to kind of figure out what they're bringing into your life. Even if they're there for like reason, you know, what they say, people are there for reasons and seasons. The one girl that came to my job, and I mentioned this before, and that's how I figured out that my job had tuition reimbursement. I was there for almost a year. This one girl came, she came from a higher paying job, and she started working at the animal hospital with us, and it was a pay cut. So they ended up like offering her, her position back, or a higher position. And before she left, we had a conversation, and she was like, you know, like, you got to see if this job pays for, tuition reimbursement, stuff like that. She mentioned that to me, and I said, you know what, I'll look into it. And I was already there for a year. And I said, you know what, let me look into it. So at first, the place that I was going to school, they weren't on the list yet because we weren't accredited or something like that. But then I spoke to, her name is Cassie at my job. I spoke to her and I was like, hey, do you know if my school is on that list yet? And she was like, yeah, you know what? We actually just added this place over in Dale Mabry. They're on the list now. And I was like, wow, that's my school. So just because that girl came to my job and she was there for like maybe a month or two, I honestly feel as though like that was what she was there for, to make me aware of my job reimbursing me for school, because I'm going to school for, you know, what this job is about. So I'm trying to get better at my skills and perform on this job 100%, so they're going to reimburse you for taking that step. So I honestly feel like that's why that was her purpose coming to that job, was to enlighten me about looking into, you know, the tuition reimbursement. So that's a perfect example of people coming into your life to offer information to you. You just have to really, you know, take from each situation what you can, what you need, and leave the rest behind. So that's about it for this video. I don't see any questions unless they're showing up somewhere else that I cannot see them. I do thank you guys for being in the room live. I can't see who is in here though. I don't think this will allow me to see who's in there. Once again, I said if you guys will type anything on the bottom, I'll definitely answer your questions. Or if you put your name down there so I can kind of see who's in here. I wonder if David is in here. David, are you in here? Because you were in my last chat earlier today. Ah, don't you fall. Stay. Okay. All right, so I hope this video was helpful. I know it was a little bit all over the place because I'm trying to get back into the live vlogging. I kind of hate editing. So I try to do it live as much as possible. I think that's it. I think that is it. Like I was mentioning, the new book that I'm reading is called The Aladdin Factor. It teaches you how to ask for stuff. And I use, you know what? I use one of the tricks that they mention in the book to get my girlfriend this crib, not this crib, this it's, what is it called, a mamaroo, one of those baby swings that it's mechanical, so it just like goes side to side, or it goes in circles, however you want it to go. I was able to get one of those for her off of this site OfferUp at the price the price that she wanted, using one of the negotiation tactics that the guy offered on the tape. So I was like, wow, this shit works. So I really want to be a master asker. And two things that I want, and I'm going to try this out. Two things that I want for the condo that I'm staying in. I want, at first when I moved in, I told the owner, like, no, I don't need a dishwasher. He had one here. He was going to fix it. But now I kind of do, because I hate washing. I hate washing dishes. So I'm going to ask him if he can get that fixed without taking my freaking rent up. And then I also want to ask him for, to get the clicker, because I'm tired. Every time I come home, I always have to like get out the car and punch to get in the gate. I just need a clicker. So I'm going to see if I can get those two things from him without having to get my rent increased. So that's my little challenge for myself. I want to become a master asker so I can get those two little things without paying for it out of pocket, or having to pay for it down the line with, you know, a rent increase. Okay. So I'm going to work on that over the next couple of weeks. I'm going to give myself maybe a week to get that done. But on another note, guys, I'm a little depressed because it's the holiday season and I'm away from my family. And I don't have anybody up here. It's just myself and my girlfriend, and she just had a baby, so the dynamics there are kind of different because we can't do what we used to do, you know, like even when I passed my test, we couldn't go out and celebrate because she just had a damn baby. So I'm like, oh, this freaking blows bananas. It just sucked. So I miss my family right about now. I really do. My family and my friends. If I was back home in Philly or Barbados, like, it would be different. So low key. Anyhow, guys, I'm gonna wrap this video up. I hope you understood what I was talking about. If you have any questions at all, if anything comes up, definitely leave me a message down below. If you want me to make another video talking about the book that I'm reading now, definitely leave me some comments. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. If you don't do nothing. Don't do nothing at all. Okay. I'll talk to you more about the other book that I'm reading as I go through it. I think I'm going to go listen to that now because my day so far has been kind of blah. nothing special at all. I did try a new makeup and I'm really liking it because my last video, I noticed like my face was so much darker. I think that was like my summer makeup. So I tried this new foundation and I actually have two different colors on my face right now, but you can't even tell. I was trying to figure out which color I should use, and there are two different shades on right now. But I really like this makeup. Can I see my big ass sunflowers back there? All right, guys. Until next time, it is your girl Me-Anie. Keep rising. Bye.